place to go. Face beat off the frame, those painted lashes laid. Neon jacket with the matching boots, laced by sweet gold hoop strings, 22 dozen inches of extensions for your love. I'm feeling super good, sweating, listening. So sick, can you make no sense? I'm feeling super good, sweating, listening. Coming through like this, yeah. Been crawling up the walls, it's time to ball. Dance was the solution to all this seclusion. Nails looking sharper than a handsaw sword. Bossy and fussy's the move you're on, and I grant cause you can't duplicate, but hey, go on. I'm feeling super good. Super good, sweating, listening. Coming through like drip. I'm feeling super good, sweating, listening. So sick, can you make no sense? I'm feeling super good, sweating, listening. Coming through like drip.
Swag so sick, might as well call the doctor. Popping this bitch, nigga, yeah, I'm really proper. Floss for a nigga, why they wanna talk they got her. I'm drip, hotter than lava. You know I'm the vibe, I keep my dress out. Send me behind your thotty, cause I'm not trying to catch a body. I can't pop bottles where Afro Sensei dropping the boat, got the girls in the city. Open the back cause they know they rent pay. The BGC like it ain't no game. No fakes, no friends, no time for lanes. Super Cali swagger, listen, sissy. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling super good, sweating, listening. I'm feeling super good, sweating, listening. So sick, can you make no sense? I'm feeling super good, sweating, listening. Coming through like drip. All dressed up with every place to go. Face beat off the frame, those painted lashes laid. Neon jacket with the matching boots, laced by sweet gold hoop string.
All right. Welcome to another episode of African State Show. It's a little slight delay, I guess, is why it caught me off guard. But I'm back, another episode, new week. Not much, well, a little bit going on with me this week. Getting ready for the album to come out. BGC comes out on October 22nd. Very excited about it. Kind of, now I think about it, I've been kind of been pushing the album for about almost going on at least a year and a half, almost 2 years, because the first song, Static, came out of May of last year before, the panorama took over. So, it feels like a long time coming, but I'm very happy with how it's turned out. I think most is about half the album's actually been out as singles, but still a lot to get into and save it for your ears when it comes out on the 22nd. Plan to do some couple of things for it, some live performances, tape performances to put out as videos and things like that. So stay tuned for some of that stuff. So we got a good show tonight. We got a good lounge tonight of artists. We got let's read off the list. We got, of course, myself, my latest video, Little Waves. We also got thank you, of course, that the gay rapper, aka Mel Lennon, is in the chat. We have an interview with him tonight. Good interview I did with him about his music and just his growing up and sort of traveling all over, and how it's impacted him and things like that. So that'll be a good thing to get into. There's 2 parts of that interview, so that'll be coming up tonight as well. But aside from that, we got our artists for this week. We got AL22. We got Chris Pierce. We got Huru with a great kind of slow jam to the track. Got Jazz D Ramos, Kenilworth Katrina, who we played before, but she has a new video. It's called Sometimes. We got Roy Kinsey featuring Apollo Mighty with Pressure, and then we got I guess we would say X Chris or Chris. The X is maybe be silent. I don't know. Watson with Undiscovered. So got a nice line tonight, and with our interview tonight as well. So, and of course with our topics and stuff. If you are in the chat, thank you for coming to the chat. Be sure to spread the word and have when people join the party and get a nice little conversation going. So mention topics. First thing is first. In between this show and the last show. The trailer for the last season of Insecure, the final season of Insecure is out. It came out on the last on the 29th, Wednesday before last. Basically, if you watch it, it's so you sort of see. Well, it was a short, like 30-second trailer first, but Issa like all the montages of her looking in the mirror over the series, which was surprisingly emotional. Then you also had this longer trailer, which is the usual sort of like showing things like how things stand. Things seem to be kind of, I would say, not strained like they were in season 4 between her and Molly, but definitely sort of like in that weird space of like as Molly puts to Kelly, or as Kelly puts to Molly, like about her and Tiff. They're not enemies, but they're not back, but they kind of fake back. So I guess maybe they kind of still kind of walk on eggshells with each other, but you know how that goes. So there's that. Then you got stuff with Lawrence. You got stuff with Condola or the many nicknames she's been called online: Constitution, Confederation, Connectulon. Just for Darren to have Lawrence's baby. So there's that. There's that drama. You got of course Nathan's still around. Lawrence, what's he gonna do about Condola and also his job? So it's still got things happening. I think Tiffany, I'm not sure, last season they had her struggle a bit with adjusting to motherhood. I'm not sure they're gonna continue that this season, but that'd be interesting to see how that plays out, especially within her marriage. So you got that going on. And then they talked to Yvonne Orji, who plays Molly. She said that you can, have to watch and see what relationships last and which ones don't. Sometimes with life there's some, and sometimes with life there's some that don't. So that's what kind of clear that is for. And she also said we go through a lot. We go through some generations. We go through 10 episodes. They all might not be an hour long, but you see evolution. You're able to see the evolution of the characters. You're able to hopefully get some answers. So sort of like some cryptic teasing. But one thing I noticed online and in some of the groups, the insecure discussion groups on Facebook, is like there's this thing that's been catching on that somebody's gonna die, which I'm like, ugh. I mean, that's for a show like Insecure, that's pretty high stakes to have someone die. Like the biggest concern on Insecure is typically like relationship problems or work problems or awkward social scenes to get, typically death is not on the menu. Most somebody may get sick or maybe some food poisoning or something, or pregnancy as far as like life-changing events, but death, I don't know about that, because people mentioned like Lawrence on the plane looking terrified and or looking really worried or things like that. It's like again, like, I mean, Lawrence tends to worry. That's just kind of who he's been as a character. So I don't think he might have been thinking about other things besides like, oh, I'm about to die. He may have been thinking about, am I making the right decision to maybe go live with Condola and raise a child, or am I making a decision to be with Issa? It's I didn't get someone's gonna die from the trailer. Did anybody else watch it? Did y'all get that vibe from it? Because I didn't. I just got it. I got it more just like everything's up in the air and or what's gonna become of Issa and Molly's friendship. What's gonna become of Issa's personal life, her work life, the usual sort of ennui. Yeah, I didn't see a death on the horizon. That kind of left field for me. It was like, huh? This ain't Mad Men. Like nobody's nobody's taking a dramatic turn for that in that sense. That's a whole different show with a whole different tone to it. So like I said, Insecure tends to be, as far as the dramatic stakes, they tend to be pretty low, just everyday interactions, everyday struggles. That's been the whole appeal of the show. So it'd be strange if all of a sudden someone just up and took a dirt nap. So that's just my thoughts on it. But we'll see on the 24th on HBO Max, or HBO if you get HBO, or either one. Watch it from there. Let the debate and the loud tweeting begin and all that stuff. For the last time. I did see that production already seems to have started on another show that Issa's executive producing called Rap Shit, which is supposed to be about female rappers in Miami. So I guess you could think about people like Trina or like maybe newer artists like the City Girls. That could. Oh yeah, I hope not. Yeah, don't kill nobody. I don't think anybody's gonna die. I like I said, I didn't get that vibe at all from the trailer, but that's what more than one person was saying that on the forum. So I just brought it up because like to me it was like, huh? But people are talking about it. So, but yeah. But he's executive producing the show Rap Shit, which is about like again female rappers in Miami, and I guess they're kind of. I guess calling it a female version of Atlanta is probably a little too patch, if that's the right word. I would think but obviously that's a comparison, but the land's its own universe. So I think, it's definitely in the vein of like music industry, artists and what artists go through. So yeah, I know Kid Fury is on. I guess it's maybe probably a consultant, or I mean possibly a writer because he's from Miami. He's a big Trina fan, and he just that's his shit for lack of a better word. So that's exciting as well. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm not sure when that's gonna be. It'll probably be out sometime next year. I would think, given Miami rap beats twerking probably the summer. So I would guess if that's the case, but Issa cut, Issa's maybe going away as far as from our faces, but she's still working behind the scenes. Speaking of stuff, ratchet Miami behavior, the last season of Claws is also debuting on like in December, which is odd because it was always a summer show. Oh, okay, hold up. Oh, you said you stopped watching Orange Is the New Black after they killed Poussey. Oh, oof, yeah, tragic. Yeah, I did too actually. After the fourth season of this, I didn't come back to it. Not because I was like, not because I was like, I can't watch it anymore. But it just, I don't know. It just, I just couldn't go back to it. It just was like, because it was so like, because you went back and you saw her flashbacks to her life, and she was like, the two guys, how much she had she looked like Whitney Circa 85, and it was all, just whimsical and full of life, and then to see how she went and how it was just like, so just, you saw, and what was worse was that it was like almost inevitable because of like both of how the prisons are treated and just the bureaucracy and the incompetence of the guy who actually kneeled on her till she died. It just was all that. And it was terrible. Yeah, but yes, I stopped watching it then. She was Oh, you haven't watched Claws in season 1? I mean, yeah. If you just like a nice escapist ratchet trashiness entertainment, it's a good show. But I'm surprised that they're bringing it back, and I'm surprised they're bringing it back in December because, like I said, it was always a summer show. It was always type of show where, like, oh, it's the summer. It's in between like the big prestige fall shows or whatever. Like, let's turn this on and watch some ratchet shit for about an hour. Which to say it is bigger. It is more than just ratchet behavior. That's a part of the show, but like it is like a really good show about this bond between this group of women, especially for women of a certain age. Not to say that they're elderly, but they aren't all 20. They're 20. They're women with some life experience, and so I think it had, if say like it compares, like if this was a show like if this was like a movie like a Wolf of Wall Street movie, they would be like minor characters, but it's like this type of show puts like front and center. So that's part of the appeal too. Of course, Niecy Nash, great actress. Carrie Preston, great actress. Karuchi, I've grown to like her, as an act is on the show. Everybody, it's a real ensemble. What's the name from Scrubs? I can't think of her name. Sorry, her name escapes me. But yeah, but oh yeah, it probably did take longer to film because of COVID. That's true, definitely. Yeah. That's true. I heard it's kind of impacted I heard that's impacted Dear White People too. The fourth season. I've seen people comment about that. I haven't watched it yet. I probably will because I watched the other 3 seasons. But I've heard that people have like said, oh, COVID probably affected the quality of Dear White People last season. So I'll get around to it, which also, sorry to say, I'm not up on my Squid Game. I know that's been the talk of the town on these nets for the past week and a half, 2 weeks, probably a little bit longer, but I haven't got a chance to look into it. I heard it is very violent, very like kind of, I guess, not for the faint of heart. I may take a little sneak peek at it and see what it's about, because everybody's talking about it. So I'll try to fight the urge to call it Squid Games, but it's called Squid Game. So yeah, but if anybody else has watched it, I guess you can give your like initial impression. No spoilers, just like your initial impression of the show. I mean, they had to get around to that, but yeah, so that's all the TVT for right now. Let's get right into the music. Episode 2, okay, all right. Yeah, I heard it's kind of trippy and maybe a little and kind of and like like I said, violent, which I watched The Walking Dead up until season, I want to see 5, because I got bored with it because they were all just dying and killing and being cold and being empathetic and being cold and being empathetic, and I was just like, yeah, over it. But yeah, so I can take some violent imagery, but yeah, but no, it may be on a new level, especially after Lovecraft. Lovecraft is like Lovecraft had an episode, the body horror episode. Like that was one episode of TV I almost actually threw up watching it the first time. you know, I kept it together, but still, that was a rough one. Oh, Asian, yeah, yeah, it's different. It's like it's different from American horror. It's like it's a different. They get to the scare differently. Basically, yeah, I would agree with that. But yes, so eventually I'll try to make my way to Squid Game, make sure I don't eat beforehand, or that it's not too dark out. So, but let's get into it's extreme horror vibes. Okay, yeah. I know even the anime. One last thing, we get into the first video. Yeah, I remember the anime. Like if you compare the American version of Dragon Ball Z to the Japanese version, it's like night and day, because the American version of DBZ, they fight and you see some blood or whatever. Maybe somebody get like a little limb cut off or whatever. Like you see some violence, but it was still like cartoon. Like Japanese version, somebody got cut in half. You saw that blood. It was like shoo, whoosh. Like the blood literally went like shoo, shoo, whoosh, like that. Sound effects and all. It's just different. They don't hold back and over there. So yeah. Oh yeah. Oh okay. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, all right. So all that said, we got more topics coming. We got, of course, the interview with Mel Lillian coming. But first, we get into my latest video for Little Waves. So we get into that right now. This is my video for Little Waves.
Sometimes a laugh takes me back to when we whispered in the dark. Sometimes a song reminds me of what began so long ago, even though I know we both chose to travel alone. It does ease the road, no. Just when I think that I have got my head all wrapped around it, my heart gets all carried away with me. I swear my weight is sharing now. I know we are no more, but little waves keep crashing over me. 21 to 33, a dozen's worth of being we. Now it's flipped upside down, or is it really right side up for me? Have I set myself free truly? Just when I think that I have got my head all wrapped around it, my heart gets all carried away with me. I swear my weight is sharing now. I know we are no more, but little waves keep crashing over me. Just when I think that I have got my head all wrapped around it, my heart gets all carried away with me. I swear my weight is sharing now. I know we are no more, but little waves keep crashing over me. Can't wait in this water forever to reminisce its fleeting pleasure. I'll tread lightly right now. The deep end will only pull me down. Just when I think that I have got my head all wrapped around it, my heart gets all carried away with me. I swear my weight is sharing now. I know we are no more, but little waves keep crashing over me. Just when I think that I have got my head all wrapped around it, my
All right, and that was my video for Little Waves. No, very happy with how it turned out. I think out of all, I don't know, I love different things about all of them, but that one in particular, it really all came together as far as the concept that sort of set in the 50s for the black gay couple, torn apart by war and the like. Um, the color scheme, just with the blues and the reds, with the collaborating with the director, Vintage Prince. Um, Drawing on the photographs I've mentioned before in previous episodes about Trent Kelly's series about African American gay men and showing the couples and all these vintage photographs. It all seems to just come together along with the song itself, which the song itself is a really great, chill pop track. Actually, fun fact, the hook definitely had inspiration like in the 70s groups like the Stylistics or the Dramatics, like You Are Everything, those type of songs, but the falsetto that came to mind as I was when the melody came to me. It reminded me of that influence, along with the harmonies of a little bit of Beach Boys, Pet Sounds era, like God Only Knows, and that type of stuff. So just FYI. But again, that's my video for Little Waves. You hear it? All right, good, yeah. But yeah, that's my video for Little Waves. I think, and that probably like the last video like that for this album because about six deep into it. Like I said, I beat some other videos like probably some like live performance type videos. Tiny disc-esque. I may perform the acoustic version of the song. If you haven't listened to that, it's a piano version I did that's out now too. If you want to really just kind of just a voice in the piano type of deal, if you like that sort of vibe, mood, it's out there now on Spotify. I made that version for a performance video along with some other songs from the album too. So, yeah, that was my video for Little Waves. Yeah, so. Directed by Vintage Prince. She actually directed B-Side Blues, which was like all gold and black, and she also directed the remix for Love Takeover where we were all dancing in the museum. So we collaborated a few times. Yeah. But yes. Let's see what else we got to get into. Yes. Well, for all my this is a very I guess you can call it 80s babies news, 80s babies news, or for my Gen X folks too, if you were into it. The game from formerly of BET and then UPN, or WB. Well, it was on BET at the end, but the game is back again for us. This is from B. Scott for its revival series. So more than 6 years after sign off of the air with the series finale of the game, it's making a comeback on Paramount Plus via the streaming service, and now the first photos have been released. Yeah, the game is back. Yes, med school. Well, med school ain't gonna be there, so we'll get into that in a second. But yeah. This is from Entertainment Weekly. It said no show seemingly has more lives in the game, which began as a 2006 backdoor pilot on UPN's Girlfriends, on to run for 3 seasons on the CW. That's what it is. Before being canceled and revived shortly after on BET for 6 more seasons. Now, more than 6 years after the finale, the Entertainment Weekly has a first look at Paramount's revival series. And if you go to the article, they have photos from sets, things like that. So, of course, if you know from the original series, it was set in the world of professional football. Again, it follows the lives of the players. It stars Wendy Raquel Robinson and Jose Sanchez, provides the roles as Tasha Mack and Malik Wright. Also, you got Brittany Daniel, Kobe Bell, Pooch Hall, they're returning in some capacity. And they got some new additions. They got Adrian Ray. They got Brittany Pitts. You got Vaughn Hebron from the Oval of Tyler Perry, which I never watched, but you got Jameson Fields, and you got Anissa Velez. You got Raquel Navarro. You got a bunch of new faces. And basically, the shows we look at, okay, because if you remember from the original show, they were in San Diego, but the new show is now set in Las Vegas. So now it returns with new players, and you got the original cast, and it basically is going to tackle racism, sexism, classism, and more, the fact of fame, fortune, respect, and love, all trying to maintain their souls as they each play the game. And of course, the original show creator Mara Brock Akil, she's returning alongside the showrunner Devon Gregory, Salam Akil, Tom Russo, and Kelsey Grammer. Of course, Kelsey Grammer all set up handling and getting Girlfriends made too. It's supposed to start on November the 11th, a 10-episode first season. So, my thoughts about it. I mean, I watched pretty much the whole series. Yeah, pretty much the whole series because it did go away after the 3rd season. It came back on BT for the rest of the series, and the way it ended. I mean, honestly, it could have ended really after probably season 4, maybe. Because after a while, it was on. It was cool, but like it didn't have the same like you know, freshness to it as they have in the first 3 seasons. I mean, Tasha Mack still Tasha Mack, you know, read med school, you know, gets Miss Thing in the bathroom, her nasty ass. Remember the episode? But Duran threw her out, and then Tasha was like, "You want to play? You want to big?" What she told her, she said, "Come up here, having toilet sex, you dancing and upside in." You know, one of my favorite episodes. But yeah, but so I mean, it's definitely you know, some memorable lines and some funny storylines on there. And you know, they had it was a good it's a good show for, I would say, for a good, for definitely the first 3 seasons, and then I'd say, you know, a strong fourth season, a little bit of the fifth, but I don't know. I don't know. I guess they have new people in the show, you know, that can carry on the basic idea, but I guess it was sort of like, I guess it would have been like had a different world continued after Willie and Dwayne moved to Japan. That's a way back reference. But if you but they play reruns enough. But like, you know, if you remember that in a different world, Dwayne and Willie were moved to Japan because Dwayne got a job with I think Nishiwa was the name of the company. But it's like, yeah, the show could have continued, but the show was evolved around, you know, Ron and Kim and everybody else. But the main towards the end of the show, the main thrust of the show was like this bond between Dwayne and Whitley. And so without them, yeah, the show could have continued with the new people, with Jada Pinkett Smith's character, and with Gina, and with Charmaine, and you know, the new class basically. But I don't know if it would have felt the same. You know, same thing like with Saved by the Bell with the new class. When they tried to go to college, it was like, it was cool, you know, but it didn't quite work. So with the game, you know, maybe it could work, maybe it couldn't. You know, it's just because I mean, Tasha could essentially play the same role, because Tasha's whole role was like, you know, I'm school y'all to the game, basically. You know, what she said the guy held us out at home for homes, hedge funds, and something else. I forgot what she said, but yeah, so she could still play that role, but you know, at the same time, it's like if you're like a 21-year-old coming in, and at this point Malik, you know, in football player years, he's ancient, you know. Nothing. I'm my limited knowledge about sports, you know. In football years, he's pretty ancient. So I mean, like, it's would her name carry the same cachet as it would have in '06 when you know, med school in Derwin first came to San Diego. Like, you know, I get that side, because like Malik was a top dude, Tasha manager top dude, so like listen to Tasha. But now it's like, you know, 15 years later basically, and it's like, would her name still carry the same weight? Because yeah, she managed Derwin and she managed Malik, but at this point they'll be like solid veterans if not retired. So it's like, people like, wish she can't have the same authority, you know, as she would have like in the Sunbeam meetings. You know, it's just like in that Sunbeam meeting when she was like, you know, she declared herself as president. She was like, you know, she said to everyone, you can call me Madam President, to my Latino sisters, El Presidente, to your hood rats, the Dundar. You know, it's like, that's going to carry the same weight as it did originally. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Same thing with like Brittany and like Jason, and like that whole, all the drama is like, how are they going to like spin that into something new for now? You know, as opposed to what it was. You know, I don't know. I may watch it. I may not. You know, Paramount Plus. I don't have it right now, but I may get it both for that and for Madam X, which is out today. You know, I may get it just for one day or for a week and then get off of it. I don't know. A Living Single reboot. That could be interesting. I mean, I guess it could be like a version of like whatchamacallit, the Sex and the City revival. You know, just like that. You know, except they still living in Brooklyn without Brooklyn's been gentrified. So how do they deal with that? As you know, as Black Gen Xers, that'd be an interesting thing to watch and see. Kim is on Netflix show. What show was Kim on? Kim was actually on Insecure. She guest on. She had like a little guest spot on one episode. But what show was Kim doing? Okay. I remember that show. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I saw a trailer for it. I didn't watch it though. Okay, TV. Oh yeah. Well, it sounded like Balls for Paramount. The game. I would say Balls was like a R-rated version of the game. I mean, they did stuff with you know, yeah. I would say Balls was like the game uncensored, basically. But with The Rock as the lead, but, love watching him in those suits, especially when he walked away. I'm just saying. He plays his character was pretty unlikable though, which I guess he wanted to play against type. But yeah, it was Ballers esque. You know, he Upshaw's yet, but Living Single reboot. I can see it. I mean, I think it depends. They will have to all get together and do it. I think it's the main thing, and have the time to do it. And you know, it would have to be. It couldn't be the same as the original show, because in the original show they were all in their 20s. Now they all will be in their late 40s, early 50s. So they would have to do a different take on on where they are now. So yeah, but yeah, so as far as the game revival, like I said, I may look at it, I may not. It just depends, it just on what happens with it, who knows. But that said, let's get back into our music videos and our TV talk. Max and Kyle should have on half and half. Oh, okay, huh? Yeah, they did that to have kind of the love-hate dynamic, so that'd be interesting to see. I had an 8-year-old. Okay, guess they still don't love instead. Are they still fighting? Well, that makes sense. All right. Okay, let's get into this next video. This next video is definitely this next song is definitely a bop. Came across this online. I think it came across this on I want to say on either the Q reviews or possibly Weekly Top 40, which both of them are great pages if you want to check those out. This video was by AL22, UK artist. This is the track called "I Don't Mind." So let's get into that right now. This is AL22, and the name of the song is "I Don't Mind."
For another round of us face to face. Oh baby, baby, love me into a better place. I wanna feel your body, I want all of your body. I don't mind. Do what you want, say what you want. I don't mind. Do what you want. I know I'm all you want.
All right, and we are back. This is that was AL22, but I Don't Mind. Definitely a bop. Definitely a house style bop. For sure, I didn't have one of those in a minute. Besides for me. So that was a scan of AO22 with I Don't Mind. A little few facts about ADO22. He's a 26-year-old singer-songwriter from East London. His artist he wants cause the attention of the BBC introducing team, which is a pretty big deal over there. I think it's for all aspiring artists to get on BBC introducing. He was selected for track of the week in London. He also has music played up north on BBC Lancashire. He's back. He's back focused and centered and ready to go along with the bop. So I guess you can stick in your head because it's good vibes only. Definitely the vibe with the video and the track itself. Uh, Definitely like upbeat, in your face, joy. It's like a better word. But you can check him out on IG. Is AL22UK is his IG handle. I'm not sure what he has coming up next, but I definitely want to look and see what looking forward to see what he has next. So, um, let's see. We were, we were deep in the TV talk. We mentioned like a living single reboot. Like I said, could be interesting. I think someone said living single the next generation, which that could be definitely that could be different. Yeah, a good idea. Maybe they could live like in Harlem instead or something like that. I don't know. Oh, I heard it was good. Oh, Sweet Life. Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I heard mixed reviews about that. It is produced by Issa Rae. Sweet Life, which Frank Ocean reference with the title, but sort of like black movers and black up and coming young movers and shakers, aspiring buppies as I call them. I think in Los Angeles. Yeah, yeah, but he has AL22. Yes, he is dope, definitely. Yeah, that's different. That's the show I've heard about too, which is on HBO Max. Which could be, it's kind of like I don't know. I may watch that one. I may not watch that one. It just depends how. That's one of those where you probably like you watch an episode and you kind of like, oh, I'll watch the next one. You watch the next one. Watch the next one, and you kind of binge the whole thing after a while. It feels like one of those shows, like I think I mentioned this before in like a previous show, but if you watch that show on Netflix called The Movies That Made Us, that's one of those where you watch one, it's like, oh, that was interesting. I watch the next one. Then you watch the next one. Then you watch the next one. Then you watch the whole series. I think it's like 2 seasons of the show right now that they're on Netflix. I've watched all of them. So it did like Back to the Future and like Home Alone and Forrest Gump, and they give you like all these like little tidbits and facts about how they did certain things, like Home Alone, for instance. They actually shot the home scenes. They built a home in a pool in a school, and that's how they shot all the home scenes in Home Alone. Like it wasn't like an actual house they went to. They actually went because it was too small to get in and out of all the camera equipment. So they rebuilt the same home, but in a school's pool, in a pool of a school. It's called the movies that made us. It's on Netflix. They give you the whole rundown the movies that made us. Yeah, they give you the whole rundown, everything, like how the script kind of came together, how it sort of bounced around in pre-production, then how it initially got greenlighted, then maybe how it almost didn't get made, and it almost got made again and didn't get made, and then all just blow by blow the whole process of like making the movie and it's like got on screen and made $100 million or whatever. I think they did Jurassic Park too, which that was a good one too from like a technical point of view. I think that was like one of the first ones that used like CGI, So yeah, but yeah, that's a show you can kind of check out and binge on, and that sounds like what Sweet Life would be. You watch one, you're like, oh, okay, I'll watch it again. So one of those type of shows. Yeah, Netflix series, or even like Glow Up is when I watched like the first. That's when I was like, I guess I'll watch it. Now I watched like the whole first season, then I went through the second season. I haven't watched third season yet. But yeah, Glow Up is that's a good one. Especially like the fancy makeup challenges is like, I would aspire to do some of that stuff. But I didn't have time to play around on my face too much. But yeah, Glow Up is a good one, definitely. Yeah, it's a good one. There's had some other ones too. I can't think of them right now. But yeah, it's a bunch of different series. But yeah, that's definitely one that you can kind of easily get into. Oh yeah. I think the fancy thing I done on my face, fancy wise, is like the liquid latex with some makeup on the eyes. So yeah, which liquid latex, you gotta make sure you gotta be clean face for that, or at least have some actual glide because that can get sticky taking it off. So. Yes, yeah, careful. Yes, indeed, absolutely, yeah. But I did do that for one video. I did that for my injury video. I covered my body and face in liquid latex, and then a little bit of makeup, and then the butterflies all over, and laying in the moss. So that was a sneezing time, but a fun time at the same time. Yeah. We we get into Afrofuturism. Yes, absolutely. Let's see what we got next for our videos. This next video is definitely like another kind of, it's more mid tempo, but still kind of party vibe to it. This video is Chris Pierce, and the name of this song is called Mix It. So let's get into this one. This is called Chris Pierce, and the name of the song is Mix It.
Myself into this maze, been trying to let it go to stop the stress. Just wanna kick my feet up on the deck and take a sip of my drink. Walking the beach, the vibes on the street. I'm picking up the speed, I'm trying to get there. Walking the beach, the vibes on the street. The vibes on the street, I'm picking up the speed, I'm trying to get there. Walking the beach, the vibes on the street. Let's go. Pick up the bass, I'm about to get lifted. Sipping the tea, I'm about to get twisted. Walking the club, I'm already listed. Dark and light, bartender mix. Pick up the bass, I'm about to get lifted. Sipping the tea, I'm about to get twisted. Walking the club, I'm already listed. Dark and light, bartender mix it. Dark and light, bartender mix it. Dark and light, bartender mix it. Sipping the tea, I'm about to get twisted. Dark and light, bartender mix it. I've been feeling down and out. It's like my life was going south. I just wish I had a drink in my mouth. Oh, thank you. Gotta fix myself, can start to just slush. Baby, fuck that bed and fuck that couch. I'm outside and I'm living, no doubt. Walking the beach, the vibes on the street. I'm picking up the speed, I'm trying to get there. Walking the beach, the vibes on the street. Walking the beach, the vibes on the street. I'm picking up the speed, I'm trying to get there. Walking the beach, the vibes on the street. Let's go. Pick up the bass, I'm about to get lifted. Sipping the tea, I'm about to get twisted. Walking the club, I'm already listed. Dark and light, bartender mix. Pick up the bass, I'm about to get lifted. Sipping the tea, I'm about to get twisted. Walking the club, I'm already listed. Dark and light, bartender mix it. Dark and light, bartender mix it. Dark and light, bartender mix it. Sipping the tea, I'm about to get twisted. Dark and light, bartender mix it. I've been loving the life I've been choosing. I'm about to fly away. I'm rocking and kicking, sliding to the beat, yeah, waving my hands and letting go of my cares. Cause I'm about to dive and ride the wave. Pick up the bass, I'm about to get lifted. Sipping the tea, I'm about to get twisted. Walking the club, I'm already listed. Dark and light, bartender mix. Pick up the bass, I'm about to get lifted. Sipping the tea, I'm about to get twisted. Walking the club, I'm already listed. Dark and light, bartender mix it. Dark and light, bartender mix it. Dark and light, bartender mix it. Sipping the tea, I'm about to get twisted. Dark and light, bartender mix it. Sipping the tea, I'm about to get twisted.
And that was Chris Pierce with Mix It, about to get twisted. Like I said, not a house vibe of the first track, but definitely a party vibe, definitely a mood, as you know, as the kids say. Great video, fun video. He's on IG if you want to follow him too. That said, it's Chris Pierce. A few facts about Mr. Pierce. He was born in Savannah, Georgia, but he's currently in Miami, Florida. Getting back to rap shit. He started his career in mid-June 2020. Chris Pierce is consistently campaigning the message that he's going to make his dream come true in his art. He's transforming a traumatic introverted childhood into plenty pop bops, as we all do. Through his artistry is truly inspiring. So basically, he's putting himself out there. He's relatively new artist, like I said, mid-June 2020. That's less than a year he's been at it, but he's he's on his way with definitely with songs like this. And like I said, the videos are really great. It kind of has that kind of great it's a great party, lo-fi party vibe energy to it, which is really great. And like I said, yeah, very cute. Yes, definitely very cute. Actually, speaking of great videos, probably maybe a little late on this, but if anybody else has seen Victoria Monet's video, her latest video for it's kind of I can't name the song. I think it's like Throw It Back or something like that. I forgot what it's called, but it's like it has like she's like in a diner and then she's like riding down the street and then she's like outside like almost like a majorette squad and but that's a cool visual. If you want to check that out. By Victoria Monet, but also of course Chris Pierce, check his video out, check him out on IG as well. And, if you want to follow him and see what he's up to next. So yeah. Also another LGBTQ artist news. Kid Ken broke some ground by being the first openly gay artist to perform at the BET Hip Hop Awards Cypher. So I didn't get a chance to watch Hip Hop Awards. I saw a few clips online. I saw a little bit of Kid Ken's clip, and I saw Tyler created a speech when he got his Culture Achievement Award, which is a great speech too if you want to check out his speech. So, so we're making inwaves slowly but surely, I guess. Because Kid Ken, it's very colorful. I play as one of his videos here too, so to see an out artist that's really like out get a chance to be in the cypher at BHS. That's definitely some progress. So making some road inwards, especially compared to this next story. Boosie. If you don't know, Boosie is recently put out a movie called My Struggle, which is his biopic. Oh, Dragon Sisters, yeah, Dragon Sisters. Okay, then I saw them. They were at the Fenty show, yeah. Dragon Sisters, yeah. Issa and Odessa, yeah. They've been performing a lot. I guess around like the New York area. Yeah, but yeah, they were in it. A lot of people were in that. They were in it. What's the name from Pose was in it. Jeremy Pope was in it. Also, Jasmine Sullivan was in it. Got Meek was in it. I'll say Got Milk. Got Meek was in it from RuPaul's Drag Race. He was in the show. So yeah, a lot of different people were in that in the Fenty video, short film if you want to call it, fashion show. But yeah, but get this mess real quick. Getting this mess real quick. You got a Boosie came up with a biopic called My Struggle that was self-produced. I didn't watch it, but if I had to guess, just from things I heard about it, it's kind of your standard state property, paid in full. Well, not paid for. Standard state property, great value. I got the hookup type of movie. Well, Boosie's playing himself as a teenager, even though he's like 38. So proceed with that as you will. Anyway, so he got kicked off Instagram once again because he assumes it because he asked Drake to help him out and make that move and help Canada, fuck with his movie back in his words. And of course, I guess Drake here didn't respond, didn't notice, didn't care to know. And so Boosie went on a rant in all caps, of course. His iOS press release, as the readers want to say. Basically, if you watch my movie on these YouTube and the Facebook sites, fuck you. I put my all in this film so I can feed my family, and you refuse to respect it. If you watch my movie right now, for free, look at the film and imagine me looking at you saying, fuck you. Rapper tweeted before bringing, he brought in Dr. Martin Luther King into the conversation. He said, and I quote, Martin Luther King would be pissed off right now to see y'all MFs not supporting Black excellence and buy my movie but going to YouTube and other websites making the white man rich. Hashtag Uncle Thomas, Uncle Thomas niggas. Said the ones who supported my film, I love you with all my heart. Red emoji. You didn't have to do it, but you fucking be enough to want to see me win. Fire emoji. Now that's real. Yes, he does rate himself very highly. I mean, okay. I mean, if he was alive, I think he would. I think the priorities would be like, white supremacy still in effect, classism still in effect. 1% exploiting everybody else still in effect. Unregulated capitalism still in effect. Pandemic. Boosie's biopic way down the list, if it's even on the list at all. You know, MLK, like, that's all I got. This, just, yeah, okay. You know, if whatever helps you, you know, sleep at night, I suppose. Okay, so get to this next story real quick, and then we can get into the next video. Probably NyQuil, yeah, just, well, NyQuil in a good Zan, probably in a 503. I mean, yeah. But yes, we get into this next story very quickly. Then we get into our next. Well, we get into the next story real quickly. You know, a little sidetrack. Anywho, so if you've been watching the trailers for the new movies or just perusing TV, you've probably seen the trailer for Marvel's Eternals movie, which I don't know that much about the canon or the origin story of the Eternals, but it is in the Marvel universe. But in this spot, you know, you get look at the basically the first gay couple in the Marvel canon, at least on screen anyway. The commercial shows Phaetos, Fastos is played by Brian Tyree Henry, who's knows in Atlanta and been in a bunch of other movies. His husband, Hans Sleman, and their child, meeting fellow Eternals, Cersei and Icarus. Marvel has hinted at you know, being showing more gay and trans characters recently. The most overt one has been, in a Disney series called Loki, which the main character confirms he is canonically queer in the MCU, which is how he's also portrayed in the comics. Fastos, who has superhuman strength, speed, regeneration, and power of flight and teleportation, a lot of powers. As another character the MCU canon firmly asserts the existence of and importance of queer characters in the franchise. You know, and just, you know, basically each showing them basically as a gay couple raising a kid, you know, which, you know, like I said, progress, especially in the Marvel universe, because for the most part, you think about Marvel, especially those first trio of X-Men movies, is mostly just like, you know, a metaphor for being gay, basically. At least that's how I took it at the time. Because the first three movies, you have the first one where Rogue is like realizing she's a mutant, she gets kicked out, and she's an orphan. Then she finds a school. Second movie, you know, they're sort of coming to terms with who they are. You know, third movie, they had like the option of getting the cure, but some wanted, some didn't. So it's all, you know, the subtext was there, but now it's good to see it kind of just come up and just be there in your face, you know. The Eternals comes out on November the 5th. Also starred Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, Leah McCook, Kamal Najani, who was also played, he played, who he played? Oh, Dinesh. He played Dinesh in Silicon Valley. Yes, Kamal, yes. If you've seen the pictures, I know you have. So yeah, yeah. He's in it. Kit Harington and Barry Hyogen as mystical beings that come to Earth to contend with the equally powerful deviants. So that comes out November 5th. Yeah, yes, definitely. Yeah, I may watch it. Like I said, I don't know much about the canon of the Eternals, but you know, give it a shot. Also, I still have not watched the Many Saints of Newark, which is for my Sopranos heads. That's the well, not a prequel exactly, but it is in the same universe. It's set in a different era, set in the late 70s, mid to late 70s, with, you know, a young Tony Soprano played by James Gandolfini's son, but also you have a young Livia, which that was a mess. Played by what was her name? She was in Up in the Air and a bunch of other movies, The Conjuring and stuff. You got young Livia in there. You got Dickie Moltisanti, which is Christopher Moltisanti's father. Christopher, as Adriana used to pronounce it. So it would be, you know, I definitely want to watch it. I just have to get around and watching it. You know, because I watched the whole series of Sopranos more than once. You know, it's one of those shows. So, well, who else is watching? Because I haven't watched it yet, but I've seen, you know, the trailer's been out and they've been showing all the interviews and all the press junkies and things have been happening. So, but it looks good. You know, like a great, you know, if you like, you know, Goodfellas, and of course if you like the TV series, it seems like it would be like, you know, right up the alley. But you know, I'll definitely give it a watch eventually. So okay, now we're gonna get into Doc on the real Tony Soprano. Oh, Vera Farmiga. Vera, I say her name right. Vera Farmiga is Livia. Okay, yeah, it was okay. Oh, it was okay. Yeah. Well, that's why I still probably watch it because I love the show that much. So, you know, but if I had, I would have loved to watch a show, which is still gonna happen, I guess. I would love to see a show about Tony and Carmela in the '80s, because like, the hair alone on Carmela, you just could imagine. um, that I would like to see that, like them as newlyweds, and like just the excesses of the '80s, like pushing like a mob TV show would have been kind of a different twist on the series. But Untold Crowns on Netflix. Okay, yeah, okay, I'll check it out. Yeah, huh. All right, yeah, definitely look into it. But yeah, that would have been a fun one to see, like them in the '80s, like just big hair and big hair and lots of Aquanet, and just Carmela in the mirror like, get my eyebrows done, just anywho, but yeah, leave it to my own fantasies. But now we get into the first part of our interview with Mel Lennon. Like I said, Mel Lennon, he is as he calls himself, a native of nowhere. But he, that gives him a unique perspective on his art and his music, and how that's impacted him and how it's influenced him. So we talked about that. And we talked about lots of different things over the course of the interview. It was a really great chat, and he was really nice to chat with. So this is part one of the interview with Mel Lennon. So let's get into that. All right, I'm here with Mel Lennon. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing well as always. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Hey.
Now, of course, we played one of your videos previously on the show. I wanted to get into one thing that you said in your bio. You said you're a native of nowhere, and I said you were born in Europe and you kind of grew up all over. So, just kind of give me some insight into what was that like.
It was great. It was really great. I grew up mostly in Germany. I was born there. I spent some time in America, hardly, before I was 17. So most of my life was in Europe and kind of absorbing a lot of cultures and a lot of different ways of thought, a lot of ways of thinking, and saw America a little differently. I didn't really, get it until I got here, what Americans feel about America, but I've always had the aspect from outside. So I just kind of felt, and as an American looking on the outside, it kind of feels like I'm not American, but I am, you know what I mean? But also as African Americans, we already have that, feeling when we're in America. So I'm like second, not generation, but, displaced a second time, you know what I mean, from living in Europe. So that's why I say that native of nowhere, because it's just like there's a Sex in the City quote where this lady says, "I'm a citizen of the world, darling."
Yes,
the
world.
Yeah, so,
I remember that. Yeah, Magda, I think was her name or something. Yeah,
something. Yeah.
Yeah. Going below, you mentioned, of course, being a Black person, how that kind of, did that feel heightened as far as like, because you mentioned feeling like an outsider, which you, of course, yeah, being in America, that's sort of double consciousness. But did you feel that was heightened since you grew up outside of America?
No. Actually, it was so funny. I really didn't feel uncomfortable in that sense until I moved to America. That it was kind of a culture shock. Like, damn, like this is how y'all be treating us here. So no, actually, growing up in Europe, I would get some looks from some people, but it was more of wonder than anything else. So yeah, no, I didn't really have that till I got here, but America needs to step it up.
Yeah. Yes, that's a long conversation.
It
But
is.
but in terms of your music and your creativity, how does being sort of growing up all over influence you in that way, being around so many different cultures?
Yeah, especially in Germany, where when I was growing up, they were kind of stuck in the 80s a little bit, and it was more like 80s rock, that they
Okay.
were kind of playing a lot. And there was a lot of Germans learned English from listening to music and the radio. So just like hearing quintessential American like pop music was kind of like important for them. So I always got the like important 80s and yeah, that kind of thing on the radios there. But it wasn't really until I was in America for like 3 years when I was like a kid, like kindergarten. And I heard Pony by Genuine that I was like, Oh yeah, no, I'm into this. Like, if this is music, like, yeah, this is cool. I'm into it. And it was like, Timbaland was like bringing in technology to like in the hip hop scene and making it kind of cool and quirky and not just like the 80s vibes that I was getting in Germany was like, I don't know, pop 80s bands that kind of had straightforward
Hmm.
progressions, and things like that. But Timbaland had like this weird ear.
Yeah.
And that always like intrigued me. And then when it became kind of part of pop culture, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm into this. This
Hmm.
is dope.
Yeah.
So it influenced me living abroad, hearing all different types of dance and all these kinds of things, but hearing kind of Timbaland in the background of that, just personally at home and having that kind of mesh together is, I feel like, where I am.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, the kind of cross pollination in a way.
Yeah,
Mhm. Okay.
totally.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Getting a bit into songwriting, what was the first song that you wrote and what was it about?
Ever?
Yeah.
um, I have no idea.
Okay.
I could not tell you. I have no idea. I'm sure it was about a boy. I'm sure it was.
What was the first song
I
you
don't
wrote
know.
that you feel like you kind of to rephrase it, kind of found your voice?
I don't know. I mean, I've been writing songs and making songs since I was in middle school. So honestly, when you say first, I don't know, but I will say that there's this, notably in my recent years, I made this song over "Give Me More" by Britney Spears. Like, I made this rap song. I think around then is where I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna sound like. It was the time where Nicki Minaj's mixtape had just like jumped off,
Okay.
and I was kind of into that, but I was already kind of doing like character kind of voices, and I would do like little British accents and stuff. And so she like did it in a more refined way, I guess. And I was like, this is me. And I just remember being like, bitch, no, fuck that. I could be getting the gigs that she has at these clubs. And so I made this song. It was kind of like I'm gonna perform this at a club, with
Mhm.
my itty bitty piggy. And I think that song is pretty much where I was like, okay, this is kind of who I am as an artist. Because I was literally listening to some old stuff I made, like, I don't know, a couple months ago. And I heard that song and I was like, yeah, that is like the turning point, I feel. But no one's ever going to hear that.
All right. But yeah, that's kind of leads to my next question because you mentioned sort of your finding your style and I know it's like listen to your EP. It's like you have a sing rapping style where it's gonna be very melodic. But also can be
Hmm.
very like kind of aggressive, very animated in a way. So where did that duality come from? You mentioned Nicki Minaj, but is it something else like as far as your personality or any other artists?
Yeah, definitely. I got into being a rapper myself when I Can't Stand the Rain dropped. And I was like, okay, this is a creative rapper who is not just hood or, you know what I mean? And growing up in Germany, I never resonated with that. I was like, but I still want to sing and make hip hop and rap and pop, but I don't resonate with this story that's always being told about Black people in pop and hip hop, is that we're only from the hood, we're only from that background, and we perpetuate it in our music. And Missy Elliott kind of showed that we could have this freedom of being just creative and being in our head and having like a fantastical world and letting that be who we are on the outside too.
Mhm.
So that's kind of where that comes from, because she would do that in her music. There would be some singing here, some singing, kind of rapping here, and then she could flip her flow and have kind of like she got kind of sick right there.
Yeah.
But so that's kind of where that came from, that versatility. I learned that only early on from listening and looking at Missy Elliott. So
Okay. Yeah. I know. You also, you write your own songs, you produce your own stuff. So, what is your creative process like when you're starting to come up with a song or you have an idea?
it varies. Sometimes I'll just like be making a beat and it'll turn into something. But for the most part, especially every song off of the EP. Almost every song, just something will be happening, and I'll have a feeling, and I'll sing a part of it into my phone, have a voice note, and I'll be like, this is how I'm feeling right now, and I'll make a song out of it. I'll make a chorus or a hook, and then I will go back maybe even like 5 minutes later, because I'll just be thinking about what I just sang, and I'll beatbox a beat that will accompany that. And then it's just the luck of the draw. Whichever one I happen to pick on the voice note that day is the one that I'm making. And so I'll listen back to those notes, and I'll draw that from there, and move on. So
is it usually a quick process, or is it different every time? Sometimes does it take longer or shorter? Just depends on the song itself. Or
I feel like the only thing that takes longer or shorter is the refining of it, because for the most part, I get down the chorus and the beat fairly quickly. Especially if I'm going off my notes, and then I'll come back to it, of course, over several days, maybe even weeks, of getting the beat just right. But for the most part, I get it down the day I'm making it, the beat and the hook. And then it'll be like over maybe a week or two, each song, to kind of iron out what I want to say and fix that process. But for the most part, I mean, yeah, I write songs pretty quickly. Like, yeah, maybe like an hour or two, I'll have a song finished, and sometimes it'll be done, or sometimes I'll be like, I want to change this word, you know what I mean? Like, or, you know what I mean? Or I want to change that phrasing, or, this album, this EP, I had so much long, I don't know. I sat with it for so long that I listened to it so many times that I went in and changed things that probably didn't need to be changed, but that was just from listening to it so long. So it depends on how long I have it in my hand, just how long I want to listen and iron something out. But for the most part, I get the basic stuff down fairly quickly. So
okay.
Yeah.
And that was, like I said, I was part one of our interview with Mel Lennon. It's a great conversation with him. So great. I was watching it, just my cue a bit. Like I said, we talk about his music, his inspirations, and then his music, we shared in common before as Missy being an influence, Timbaland being an influence. I like the perspective he has as far as you mentioned, like, living outside of the U.S. and then being inside, and then coming to the U.S. and how that, it's different from my own perspective because I grew up here. So that was interesting to hear about. And we'll have part 2 later on in the show as well. We'll show you some more about music and him producing for other artists and what that's like compared to working on his own stuff. So really just, stay tuned for all that, definitely. Well, I guess we can jump back into our next artist video, and then we'll come back and we'll get to some more headline stories. This next video is by artist. This video is, we're gonna slow the mood down a little bit as far as the tone of the music, but the visuals are just just beautiful. I came across this video on I want to say the Q reviews as well. Like, if you're not following the Q reviews, it's a very good blog. Not blog. It's a very good page to follow on IG because of just they highlight different artists. They highlighted me. They've highlighted just different genres, people from all over. Great site, great place great page to follow if you're looking for more LGBTQ artists. So this video was by an artist named Huru, and the name of this song is called let me see what his name is. Forgot just like the name of the artist called Huru, and the name of the song is called Slow Motion. Let's get into that now. This artist is called Huru, and the name of her song is called Slow Motion.
You got this contagious way of thinking, yeah. Shifting my whole life in an instant, yeah. Since you shown your face, things been different, yeah. Got me now hoping, praying, reflecting, yeah, on all of my foolish ways. Do you plan to stick around for a while? Cause it seems like you have got a lot to say, trying to teach me how to change my whole lifestyle. Slow motion, got everything moving, yeah. 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 Slow motion. In slow motion. You said slow it down, slow it down. Let the shit flow on up to the surface. There's a sore spot in every town, and the shadow's been running the circus. There's a lot to be said and done. Take a moment to self-love and focus on your breath till the day I leave, and exhale when you found out your purpose. Out of all of my foolish ways, do you plan to stick around for a while? Cause it seems like you have got a lot to say, trying to teach me how to change my whole lifestyle. Slow motion, got everything moving, yeah. 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 Slow motion. Oh, you slowed it right down for me. You slowed everything down, you see. Oh, you slowed it right down for me. You slowed everything down, you see.
And that was Cosmic Guru with Slow Motion. Like I said, I told you, just gorgeous visuals, just gorgeous imagery. Again, I came across it on Q reviews and just thought it was beautiful, and it's really moving. And of course, it just complements the song really well. Just getting some facts about Huru. With her new sound, she calls her sound cosmic. It's a collective alternative sound. She's a singer-songwriter. She began sharing her human experience with individuals worldwide. She combines poetic lyricism and hooky melodies, mixing electronic and atmospheric sounds, a mix of folk, indie pop, experimental R&B. She kind of described the sound as like genreless. It's like it's very fluid, and you get that from the song. It's definitely got some atmospheric vibes to it, but it's a little bit of R&B in there, some pop in there. So yeah, she was born in Britain, but she's also has keen in Jamaican heritage. So she just really strives to kind of just bring you into her world. It has that feel. It's almost like it's dreamlike in a way. It's not not overpowering as far as like it's not very surreal, but it has a very hypnotic, dreamlike quality to the whole video, and thought it's really great. So you can follow her on Instagram, Cosmic Huru. Instagram, she posts. She's on IG, so you can follow her there and see what she has coming up next. But hopefully, I'm definitely can't wait to see what she does next, visually or musically. So, yeah. Getting back into our headlines, everything's on TV about TV tonight. If you've been missing your fix of the Braxtons, Tamar Braxton has hinted that she and her family might be returning to reality TV, but in a new way. So maybe less do wop pop pop and something else. So here we go. She says she told this is from the blast. She says when asked what was up with the rumors that her family showed the Braxton family that was coming back, singer played coy but let a few key details slip. Recently she said, "You said, hey, what if I was to tell you Braxton family Bailey was coming back?" She said to a cameraman that asked her that. Then let's see. What if she said walking away? He prompted her once again. And he said, but not on a Foolish Network, because I think she has some issues with WeTV, I guess, for a little bit. And then she said, here's the thing, everybody thinks I declared war against the network, referring to the family's last 3 years with the WeTV and 11, and that whole deal. She said she had to break down, felt like the network was exploiting her in a sense. She casually says the war is sort of, but not is happening. But more importantly, the truth is she is vying for her family to be depicted in the right way. She wanted to say that as a show creator, a responsibility like that falls on her. She wants to have full control of the show, especially as a family. Being asked if what would you do differently, she says that this is what she would do differently, and also drew in a totally unexpected twist. Not getting into my life, but she said she would want to do I guess a docu-series basically is what she was getting at. She wanted to do like a different way to tell a story. As far as the Braxtons, that obviously Tony's, of course you watch Tony, in anything. But the show itself, I mean, docu-series, I mean, I guess it depends on what angle they take on it, because if we've seen, they kind of delved into the history a bit on the show when I watched it, just about how they initially came together as far as practicing all the time, and the mother teaching them how to sing, and then they were a group for a while, and Tony got a deal, and then she went solo, and then she made them her background singers, and then they tried to go solo in their own different ways, and then it didn't really work for them until the show, and Tamar had a bit of her own success, but then I think she retired. I think it may have been because she was having some personal issues. I don't know. So I'm not sure how much new stuff we could learn if it was a docu-series. I guess maybe we can learn more about the music itself and just about the group, about when they were a group, and more from that angle. But as far as like, I don't know. I don't know how in depth. I guess it's how in depth they want to go in terms of like maybe their background and how they got. And focus on the individual sisters and their own personal journeys. I guess that could be its own thing. And it'd be different. I guess it'd be a different dynamic than the show, because of course the show, like all reality TV, it thrives off about drama. So yeah. So I guess that's what I'm kind of getting at in like a less direct way. Like what else can we learn? Bruce say, it feels like we know too much about them already. And yeah, it's like, what else can we learn about them? Because we know we've seen the dynamic play out over the course of the however many seasons they did of the show. We know that Tamar can be a lot. We know Tawana is the vault. We know Tracy, it feels left out. We know Trina, is the pop girl who feels like she doesn't quite fit in with the overall family sound. We know that, of course, Tony is the unofficial matriarch, and then we got the real matriarch who comes in, and just has her one phrase each season, like each season, like lay low and spread it wide was one season, and then the daddy is in and out, and they got one brother that he's kind of like he comes in here and there, but he's not really a presence on the show. So it just like I said, some new things will have to happen before it to be a docu-series. Maybe that's the key. If they were doing new things over the course of the docu-series, that could be the thing to watch. Like if they were finally making the gospel album they were talking about forever and ever, that could be a docu-series. If Tamar was going back into music, and then the other sisters were doing their own things musically, then they could that could be a docu-series. Like it would have to be about something other than just the sisterly dynamic. Like we done seen y'all go to therapy and y'all learn not on my watch. We've seen all that mess. So like we don't need more of that. That's my take on it. You have to take it in a different direction than just the drama and meeting up to sip wine and get and throw shade to get shaded. A Tony, yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely a Tony record. I mean, you know, I felt obviously everybody wants a Tony record, but I did as far as among the sisters, I did feel a bit for Trina because she was trying to do something different outside of what the sound that the family is known for, you know. And I just think, you know, when black pop artists, you know, it's a treacherous road. You know, I felt her in terms of like just trying to, like, you know, just be herself and like do something that wasn't R&B focused, but and not getting necessarily the reception that she wanted. You know, so but yeah, definitely a Tony record, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, but the docu-series, I mean, like, let's say if they show something new, then it could be interesting. If it's the same old, just, you know, meet up, talk about whatever, and then, you know, talking about the same old shit, that's not gonna work. Not for me anyway. So, you know, so yeah, but that's potentially happening, but we shall see. You know, because right now it's have Tamar talking about it, they don't necessarily have everybody else agreeing to it. So that's two different things. We can get into our next video. Get away from TV for a second. Artists, another artist I came across. I think I came across artists on LGBT Underground. There's another IG page if you want to, you know, look up on music and, you know, stay up on that stuff. You can definitely follow them as well. This is a video by an artist, Jazz. Jazz D Ramos. And this track is called Self-Conscious. So this is Jazz D Ramos, and this is Self-Conscious. Let's get into that one.
Gotta be honest, little self-conscious. Everyone got words for the hell of it, so do what you love for the love of it. Art of your life that you coloring, make sure the paint's so bright you in love with it. Cause I never done that, no, I always hold back. Yup, I wanna know why I don't wanna show the gifts I was blessed to have. Fear in my heart and mind, universe in its design. Going in blind, hoping everything's alright. And in all the lines, crawling myself out of a black hole that I never thought that I fell through. And I failed you, and I failed me in a tough time that I felt blue. And I left no clues, excuses were my go-to. Whenever it came to you, all of the shit that I put you through. Trying to break cycles that we grew. We're entertaining, making toxic, relevant, read the room and mention. Elephant wanna be next, isn't it evident? I wanna close in like a sniper, but be sure not to leave evidence. Self-belief confused, as arrogance, confidence comes and goes. So the hell with it, everyone got words for the hell of it. So do what you love for the love of it. The art of your life that you color and make sure the paint's so bright. You in love with it, all of the flaws that you uncovering, all of the insecurities that you covering, false theories like conspiracies, acting strange, acting more government, subtle shit. You in love with it, knowing, understanding anything that you come up with, irritated and defeated, feeling nothing, repeating. Take a leap, take a leap, take a leap. Support from others to continue jumping, staying out from us, no discussion. I don't wanna stay reminiscing on nothing, more time focused, no time for fronting. Be honest, I'm a little subconscious. Energy more like that, man, but been feeling like Robin. Sight like living, I know I'm not perfect and I'm not flawless, but I'm working progress and I love myself regardless. Gotta be honest, I'm a little self-conscious. Energy more like that, man, but been feeling like Robin. Sight like living, I know I'm not perfect and I'm not flawless, but I'm working progress and I love myself regardless. Everyone got words for the hell of it, so do what you love for the love of it. Art of my life that I'm coloring, I'ma make sure I paint so bright that I'm in love with it.
Back. That was Jazz D Ramos with Self-Conscious. Definitely a mellow vibe, because you in the same veins as the last one. Like the hazy feel of that video. A few facts about Jazz. She's a music artist. She's based in the Boston area. She's a singer-songwriter. She also raps. allowing her musical style to range from hip hop, R&B, to dancehall, and soul election. Which I guess soul election, I think reminds me, I guess, that early 2000s era. Soul Aquarium is more so than soul election, but I think it's around the same period. If I'm right, if I'm wrong, somebody correct me. First EP itself was released late last year. Actually late in 2019. Self-conscious being a fan favorite. He talks about insecurities of putting yourself out there as an artist, which relatable content. Also, it's a reminder that everyone got words for the hell of it, so do what you love for the love of it. Which I like that. I like the phrase. It's kind of poetic, but it's also to the point. Because everybody basically everybody's gonna have something to say, but so just do what you want to do. So since the release of the EP, she's released a handful of singles and continuing to showcase her artistry and versatility. All the songs are out on streaming platforms. So, if you want to follow her on IG, it's Jazz D Ramos. So she's on there, and you can see what she has coming up next. Now let's see. Well, I guess we can. We're talking about the brackets, but I think we kind of exhausted that topic. What we can get right back into part 2 of our interview with Mel Lennon. Like I said, on this part, we talked about just how he produces for himself, but he also produces for other artists, and we wanted to ask him about how they differ. So we talked about that a bit. We talked about his upcoming project and his current album, his current EP that's out right now. So we can get into part 2 of that right now. This is part 2 of the interview with Mel Lennon. Who are your production influences? We talked about, just singing and rapping, but as far as production goes, as far as maybe even songwriting goes, who are your people that you look to that inspires you?
I always say, literally, Missy Elliott and Timbaland just created me. They're like my musical parents, And so that's where that it starts at the root of kind of my inspiration for all of it, but definitely production wise as well. I think of Timbaland, but of course over the years, the Neptunes and, Just Blaze, and I even listened to, Max Martin, and even when I look at Chainsmokers and their production, I mean, really when I look at it, I'm thinking that they also just listen to Timbaland and have evolved from that. But I listen to what's going on as far as not rhythmically, but whatever is happening in the culture, just stylistically, and I will kind of infuse that with everything that I've ever heard. You know what I mean? So it'll be Chainsmokers, but with a little Missy Elliott and Timbaland and Pharrell in this beat, and then the next beat will be, So I think it always goes back down to literally Timbaland and Missy. Everything I make, really. I feel like you can hear it just a little bit in there, So
all right, get into the visual. Now, you played your video for Work on the previous show. Really great video. What was the process conceptualizing that and just the shooting of it? Because the way it was shot was very much like, it was also reminded me of like an old Janet Jackson video where follow you throughout the whole thing, like All Right or When I Think of You. So what was that process?
You said that. Okay, so I don't know if I can say this, and edit this out if you think I'm gonna lose people for saying this, but I've never seen those videos. I don't think I've seen them. I know. Listen, I was sheltered as a kid. Okay, I had to find this music and stuff on my own. But the way I came up with the concept was literally at work, and sometimes that does happen as well. Sometimes I'll be working, serving, bartending, or something. Lyrics will come to me and I'll write it down on a piece of paper and put it in my pocket and whatever. So I think as I was writing at work, I was thinking I wish I could just because when I was a kid, even still sometimes I'll listen to music just loud on my ears and I'll just feel like I'm in the video walking down the street, So that's kind of where it came from, the concept. I was at work and I was like, I wish I could just blast out in the song and just tell all these people I just want to go home. We have to make life so hard. I just want to do my shit, and go home. I don't want to have to be here shining the silverware for nothing, And so that's kind of where the video concept came. I was just like, I wish I could express this all the time. So yeah, that's where it came from. I explained it to the director, and he did that.
Yeah, it turned out great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you enjoy doing the visual stuff as much as the music, or is that more of a?
Totally. I've always been into that aspect. I mean, when I was growing up, music videos were important. So, I always paid attention to what they did. They used to tell stories, man. It used to be a thing when a video was dropping from an artist. And so, yeah, I care very much about that. And as a person who also wants to act and cares about cinematography and all of those aspects of filmmaking, to blend those and put that into also my music is, I love it. So I think sometimes even when I'm making a song about the visual as I'm making the song, yeah, I care very much for my visuals, and I hope to do much more. But as an indie artist, you got to be out here shaking that to get that cash to make these videos. So but hopefully I will have one for almost every song on the EP, or every song that I ever make, because I love telling a story visually with the music, and even sometimes playing off of the lyrics and making a visual that has nothing to do with the song. So I love visuals and mixing that medium with my music.
Do you have
I love
certain
it.
cinematography influences or film influences that you draw from for things, or nothing particular?
I mean, Ang Lee. No, I don't know. No, I mean, I think of different things all the time. I mean, no, I mean, I watch so much shit that something can influence me and I not even know it, So there's nobody in particular. I haven't really studied names. I need to be better at that, but that's neither here nor there. But no, nobody in particular that I think of when I do that. I just want it to look good. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, nobody crazy, no Wes Anderson or anything like that. But I do like, and hopefully one day we'll play with having a style and having a not really a director X or a who used to shoot
Hype Williams.
Hype Williams
Yes.
kind of shit. You know what I mean? I don't want it particularly, just the same thing with my production. I don't want it to have like a signature look or sound particularly, but I do want to play with styles, and I would like to play with all of them if I can. So that tells you anything about me.
Yeah. Switching topic a little bit, how do you feel that being open about sexuality, or how you feel sexuality in general, has affected your art and your creativity?
I've always been, so as far as like its influence in it, it's always been there. So I don't know. But I will say that because being a Black gay man and anything that we do publicly is a political statement, there is kind of a need to be vocal about certain things in my music. So, I mean, but I never feel like I have to be like, oh, let me make a political song. You know what I mean? I didn't do that this week. It's just, it comes out because it's part of our everyday life. You know what I mean? So all of that is in my music, but there's never like a specific focus. It's just whatever I feel. So because I'm a sexual being and I am sex positive and I talk about it in my daily life, it does come out in my music, but it's never been like I need to hype it up, sex it up, gay it up. It's just been like, this is me and there's somebody who resonates with that. So let me make that,
Right. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, definitely. Getting into your EP, how would you describe the style of it and the overall sound of it?
I mean, I categorized it as pop because pop could be anything, but I did also put hip hop in there because I think the difference between hip hop and rap is hip hop has like this underline, it's almost highbrow rap, where there's just so much more conceptualizing with the production and the music and even the lyrics, where it could be more conscious and kind of just have more than just being derivative. And I feel like rap sometimes can just sound like everybody. And especially as it's progressed, it's gotten kind of just about gangster rap and kind of stayed there. But when you hear somebody talk about, disparagement in society, it's usually categorized as hip hop. And so I do say that about myself and my music. I do claim to be part of hip hop, but there is a lot of pop elements to my music, and I like that, and I want to keep that. I love pop music, so I say pop, but it definitely has heavy influences of hip hop.
Are you working on anything else currently? For either this year or next year?
Yeah, I'm working on 2 albums for 2 other artists. for FD Bordeaux, and they just released his first single from the EP. Actually, it might not even be on it, but he just released Love Elevator this summer with Duran Bernard, and I produced that, and I produced his record that's coming out. I'm not sure if he wants to do it this year or next year, but it's coming. And an artist named Freebird, I'm doing an EP and an album for him, well, for free. His pronouns are actually Freebird. So, and I love that. So I'm doing that for free. And I'm working on a soundtrack, and that accompanies a show that I'm actually writing and producing and starring in. So I'm doing all these things in preparation for next year. Okay. So yeah.
What is it like producing for somebody else compared to producing for yourself? Does it feel different, or is it?
It's definitely different, and it actually depends on who it is. Some kind of give me the reins and say, this is the sound and the kind of mood I'm going for, either for this particular song or just, as a whole, and I'll create some things and send it back, because I kind of like being in my space. And then there's some who are very like, well, this is kind of the sound that I'm looking for, and this is kind of what I want. So how about let's get together and you play some things and I'll steer you in the direction, And so it just depends on who I'm with and who I'm working with. But at the end of the day, it's all organic, and it's all about, how you feel. So it all kind of comes out in the wash,
Well, where can fans find you? Where can people find you online or anywhere else?
On Instagram and Twitter at DJTRAKQUEEN, and on Twitch. And then you can find me on YouTube at Melanin Pop. So it's Mel, like Mel B of the Spice Girls. Lennon, like John Lennon. I hope that kids know who that is, and they will find out. And then Pop, just like Pop corn, bitch. I don't know. So Melanin Pop on YouTube, and then also on Facebook. But yeah, I think that's it. I don't have a website yet, but it's coming, girl. It's coming.
Last thing, do you plan to try to perform in the new year? I know we've all been affected by, by the panorama, the pandemic.
Okay, yes, not the Panera Bread.
Yes. Do you plan to try to tour, perform, or anything, or have you?
Yes, yeah, definitely next year. This year is kind of a wash, and then we got holidays coming right up, so no. But I've been kind of getting with some folks here in the New York City scene, so I feel like, yeah, and this project has been received well, so I feel like I definitely will have some spaces and some availability next year. I don't know of them yet, but yes, I plan on performing.
Well, definitely want to thank you for sitting down with me today. I really enjoyed talking to you.
Of course. Please, I loved watching your show, so, and I'm like, yeah, please, I'll be there.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to see what y'all come up in the future, and definitely be watching and definitely for whatever you have coming up. So again, just thank you for talking to me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
And please come over and tell me anytime.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
All right. All right, and that was the end of our interview with Mel Lennon. Like I said, it was great sitting down with him and talking with him about everything, about just his musical influences and his process as a songwriter and a producer and producing with other artists, and things like that. Hopefully he'll, peruse YouTube and get into those Janet Jackson videos that I referenced, as homework. But seriously, I had a good time talking with him. And I'm excited to see what he comes up with next and what he does next, musically as well as visually. Like, if you want to follow him, again, his IG handle is a Dat Gay Rapper on IG. His music is also available, on all the streaming platforms, so you can check him out definitely. It's a great interview. Had a great time talking with him. So we can get right back into the music. This is an artist we played before when we first started the show, and she's back again with a new video. This one's been out for about, I think, a couple of weeks, maybe probably about 2-3 weeks maybe. This is Kenilworth Katrina, and this track is called Sometimes. So again, let's get into that right now. This is Kenilworth Katrina, and this track is called Sometimes.
No doubt. Like the song say, it be sometimes where like, you know, I be feeling certain type of way, you know. I figure I'd tell y'all, you know, how I'm feeling sometimes. Sometimes you gotta make them wait for it. Then come in like, sometimes I feel like I'm one step away, and sometimes I feel I'm further away. Should be sometime, and I wish that sometimes I could speed up the pace, but sometimes it's not about who in the race, long as you come into place. And see, sometimes I feel I'm on top of the world, cause sometimes ain't no stopping the girl. It be sometimes where I feel like sometimes I'm ahead of my time. Took me some time to get in my prime. I'm never sometimes with it. I tell you, sometimes I amaze myself. If it's sometimes that I praise myself, only sometimes did it. I feel like sometimes I should sign myself. Fuck a label, I just grind myself. Ain't no sometimes, nigga. Ain't no sometimes, nigga. Yeah. Feel this way all the time. Yo, days off, no sometimes with it. No sometimes with it, nigga. I swear sometimes I just wait. I tell you sometimes, man. Sometimes, man. How you feeling? How you feeling? Tell them how I'm feeling. Tell them how you feeling. Tell them. Alright, I got you. Yo, check this out. Look, some of the time I be happy, some of the time I be mad, some I be sad. Sometimes I have a good day, sometimes I don't, but I'm still chasing the bag, nigga. Sometimes, man. Chasing the bag, nigga. I'm always though chasing that bag, nigga. Ain't gonna never stop. Ain't no sometimes with it, nigga. I swear. Sometimes. And sometimes I wish I could rewind time to that one time where I was on the front line, but sometimes that's a one-time thing. That's a one-time thing. Gotta be thankful in the moment, you know? Yeah. I'm thankful. Sometimes that's a one-time thing. I'm thankful. I appreciate that while you're in it, yeah. Sometimes that thing don't come back around. You feel real shit. Real live with yourself. Sometimes I do hood shit. Sometimes it's bars, nigga. Sometimes I bullshit, but most time it's arse, nigga. My mama told me go hard or go home. Flick the switch, I black out, then I'm gone. Ain't no sometimes with it.
All right, and that was kind of work for Katrina with Sometimes. Great track, different, switch the beat vibe a little bit from the last one we played. Great beat, whole, also the whole desert theme really sort of complement each other in my opinion. But I will say, part of me, when I saw the desert and the huge wide shots, I was kind of hoping she would turn around and be like, like a man without a hand, I'm missing you. Remember that case? Remember the little 90s R&B? But she did, but she, because she got her own song to sing, to rap. But anyway, that was Kim Worth Katrina with Sometimes. We played her, like I said, we played her before on the show, and she's come up with a couple more videos since then. If you want to follow her on Instagram or her IG, it's Kim Worth Katrina. So yeah, just follow her and just see what she's up to. She's like I said, she's done a few things since the last video we played from her. We get into our next back to our headlines. This is be interesting thing. I'm be interested in seeing. Coleman Domingo. He's starring a biopic about Bayard Rustin, which is the first narrative feature from the Obama's Higher Ground production company. Basically, if you don't know, open your history, Bayard Rustin was a key figure in the civil rights movement. He's also a Black gay man. He helped organize the March on Washington. He also helped train Dr. King and a lot of other activists in Gandhian nonviolent tactics, which they use in the sit-ins and things like that, and the marches. So a highly influential figure in the movement, but one whose contributions was were downplayed because of homophobia and all that stuff, and other leaders in the movement, wanted to minimize his role because they felt it would hurt the movement's progress if his sexuality was known. So, and later on in life, he became like an AIDS activist, and I think he passed away in '87, I believe. So, but this movie, basically with Coleman, if that name isn't familiar to you, if you've watched Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, that was on Netflix last year, I think he was in that. If that rings a bell. So it's like I said, it's based around his civil rights work and his work in gay rights activism. Chris Rock is in the movie. Glenn Turman, aka Colonel Taylor, for another different world reference. Audra McDonald, she's in the movie as well. She's also starring in it. It's going to be directed by George C. Wolfe, whose last film was Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which Coleman also starred in. Wolfe wrote the script with Dustin Lance Black, who also wrote the biopic Milk. As I was saying, he needed help organizing March on Washington. He was a key figure in the movement. He was arrested and beaten several times for flouting Jim Crow era laws. He's also arrested for his orientation for being gay, which he tried to keep secret because they believe it would undermine the movement, and it was used against him by politicians. Also, who's playing the opposite against him will be Rock portraying the leader Roy Wilkins. Turman is playing an activist, and he's playing April Randolph, and Audrey McDonald is playing Ella Baker, who's also an influential figure in the civil rights movement. And then also, who else is Bruce Cohen, who won an Oscar for producing American Beauty and earned nomination for Milk and the Silver Linings Playbook. He's producing the film as well. So, like I said, definitely an interesting project. BR is definitely worthy of getting the biopic and getting being the lead character in the story. Definitely want to see how it comes out, really, because like I said, it's a long time coming as far as more LGBTQ people, especially Black LGBTQ people, getting our due, and particularly the historical figures getting their treatment in biopics, and then just having their stories told and being featured and having their achievements highlighted, because so often still people sometimes think of gays over here and Black is over here, and not thinking of the two identities actually being together in one person. So it's important for stories like this to be told. So, Chris Rock, I'm sorry, Rock, not The Rock, Chris Rock. Chris Rock is playing Roy Wilkins. Yeah. They said they give me the last name there for a second, but yes, Chris Rock been doing a lot more dramatic stuff recently, because he was in Fargo and he was in something else recently. Yeah, so but yes, that's the Rock in question. But they don't say when it's going to be out yet, but I'm guessing it'll be out sometime next year. So yes, they don't. Yeah, actually, most people don't know about him. Yeah, because intersectionality, definitely. To get academic for a second. So yes, so I'm not sure when it's coming out, but I definitely look forward to seeing it when it does. So, let's see, about to say something else about that. But that's in production. Actually, kind of reminds me, I guess, of that Langston Hughes movie they had back in '04 with Anthony Mackie. Maybe it's similar to that. Maybe they'll explore that side of him as well, and not just his public life, but it's also maybe his personal life. I don't know. So, we'll see. We get into we'll get right back into our videos. Actually, this next video is a collaboration. Again, I came across this on IG. IG is a spot, for all the, if you want to, find what the girls are doing and what they're singing about and rapping. This video was by Roy Kinsey and it features Apollo Mighty, and this song is called Pressure. So let's get into that right now. This is Roy Kinsey featuring Apollo Mighty, and it's called Pressure.
Yo. Hey. Like this. Silk drip off skin like Dolly. New Vishnu from Bali. Boy George out Mike Harmon, Cardance, Giorgio Armani. Nah, they not from where I was born, I bite their neck, I'm Ozzy. Acts premeditated, we undercover Benghazi. M850i, what down sexy high. We feel like electric, want some company, let me slide. No max, just something slight, alright. Whip so violent, white on white. I do things you might don't like.
Man, I'm applying pressure.
To the money so long you can't measure. To my neck shine like a buried treasure. I'ma make you say my name forever. Forever, man, I'm applying pressure. To the money so long you can't measure. To my neck shine like a buried treasure. I'ma make you say my name forever and ever and ever.
I can kill an old world for you, help you build a new one, baby, how we doing? Get up out your feelings, get up out your past, babe, just leave it in the ruins. You thinking comfort, I think Tiana and Shumper. Tryna pull up to your bumper, interview you with no jumper. Commence a flowy boy summer, beat it, little Roy drummer. Skeet it, why so vulgar? Eat it, cleansing your water, drink it. We linking your bio, the cars kids, your bingo ad. Follow your passion, you may not me, but you
I'm
know
applying
that.
pressure. To the money so long you can't measure. To my neck shine like a buried treasure. I'ma make you say my name forever. Forever, man, I'm applying pressure. To the money so long you can't measure. To my neck shine like a buried treasure. I'ma make you say my name forever and ever and ever.
Everything I want, I'ma get. Everything you want, you gon' get. You deserve a life without limits. Do not enter what I'm not finished. Living life like you're not in it. Who you think you are to not feel it? Cup running over, you feel it. Come and get vulnerable with it. Everything I want, I'ma get. Everything I want, I'ma get. Everything you want, you gon' get it. Everything you want, you gon' get it. Everything I want, I'ma get.
Man, I'm applying pressure. To the money so long you can't measure. To my neck shine like a buried treasure. I'ma make you say my name forever. Forever, man, I'm applying pressure. To the money so long you can't measure. To my neck shine like a buried treasure. I'ma make you say my name forever and ever and ever.
I'ma give. Everything I want, I'ma give. Everything I want, I'ma give.
That was Roy Kinsey and Paula Mighty with Pressure. Great video, great collaboration. Very, like the colors in the video, like the Spanish guitars. My producer said, "Come on, Spanish guitar." A little deeper and deeper if open your '90s house with Madonna tracks. Doom 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 doom. Anyway, Spanish guitar, but the colors and with the showers and the lights and everything else, it really was a very moody kind of video, but like not in a sad way, but it helped the vibe of the song basically. Get into a few facts about both of the guys. Roy Kinsey is born in Chicago born and raised. Basically, he's identified as a nonconformist. His sixth album is self-proclaimed best work yet, Kinsey, a memoir. His last album is called Blackie, a Story. So it's some but darker tone, but also was sincere, in strong musical performances. So like lots of different lyrical observations and just about his life and about growing up in Chicago as a Black gay man. So that's kind of his vibe with that. Also getting into his collaborator Apollo, because Apollo is the R&B dude of the duo. He's an R&B soul artist. He's also based out of Chicago. He's originally from Memphis, Tennessee. He also said that he this EP in 2020 called Behavior got a good amount of streams. Previously this was Solid Gold, Forbidden Fruit, and Let's Go. So he calls himself a mix of John Legend and Kid Cudi, which that's a good combination. Or the Weekend mix Frank Ocean. That's a mood piece for your ass. both of those guys. And he released a track back in May 2020, back in May of this year called Smile. So definitely a good meeting of two minds that they very much complement each other. So it's a good collaboration. Again, that was Apollo Mighty and Roy Kinsey. Roy Kinsey with Pressure. So yeah. I could definitely hear that in like the end credits of like a show or something, like, you know, like the final scene drops, doom, credits, Pressure, you know. That's, you know, if I was a music supervisor, you know, just saying. So now before we get into our last artist of the night, we'll get into our last story of the night. This is one for our 80s the 80s babies, you know, or even the 70s babies, you know, 90s adults, 90s kids, everybody's included. If you remember Video Soul is coming back. Video Soul with Donnie Simpson. And this is from Vibe. From 1981 to the mid-90s, R&B and soul artists had a platform dedicated to them and their work. That platform was Video Soul, 2-hour program around BET. It was hosted by Donnie Simpson and Sherry Carter. And a surprise announcement from Simpson himself on Wednesday. Video Soul is officially being rebooted back on September 29th. The esteemed radio personality and host tweeted, "I've been waiting for this to say for 25 years now. Video Soul is back." So I can't tell you. I can't tell you how many people over the years have suggested I bring it back. I told them I would, and today it's official. Video Soul is live and free on #ToBe right now. Yes, finally, yes. The post included a trailer for the new Video Soul. The reboot will highlight timeless R&B acts like Teddy Riley, Casey from Jodeci, and Kiki Sweat, as well as many newer and younger artists like Sammy and Asia Han. However, the new series also has more hip-hop experts, including Pras the Fugees, Lecrae, Kumo D, and Young Jock. The first 6 episodes of the new Video Soul are currently airing for free on Tubi. Now I don't have Tubi. I may get Tubi. Oh, hello, child. Welcome. I may get Tubi. I don't know, but I do want to. I would like to see what it's like, because I mean, you know, I honestly, for me, I remember I just kind of missed Video Soul. Because by the time I was starting to get into music, it was more like MTV Jams, Rap City, 106 in Park. That was kind of more my era. But I you know, being someone who just like to watch anything about music, I definitely went back and watched clips of it. You know, but you know, interviews he did with Mary J. Blige, interviews he did with like New Edition, an infamous clip with New Edition when they were all like kind of like shitting at each other while they were sitting on the couch together. Because this was the point where they had all of them had their own solo stuff going on, so they were all kind of like, you know, in their own egos. But yeah, that's a fun clip to watch. Of course, Whitney was on there, Patti LaBelle was on there, Phyllis Hyman was on there, you know, everybody was on there, you know. So yeah, bringing this back, you know, like I could definitely see if they can. I could definitely see it being like the show people love, but also like bringing it, like again mixing it with the sort of modern take. Because I mean, you could definitely have someone like a Jasmine Sullivan on there, or Ari Lennox, Aletta C, you know, her, you know, Miguel. So yeah, I could definitely. It's a different thing that's happening. And Donnie has that kind of energy where even though he is, you know, a mature man, he can still bring that kind of like youthful sort of presence to the show, because he has this kind of timeless quality about him, aside from, you know, aging very well, you know. I think it can work. I think it definitely can work. So, you know, like I say, if you want to get, you know, get Tubi, and, you know, and check it out, you know, check it out and report back. Well, I'll check it out and report back. Either way, you know, somebody report back. but yeah, so that's the thing now, you know. Which I am surprised, because I did listen to an interview with him on Questlove's podcast. It was an old interview, but it was like maybe about 3 or 4 years old. I think he wasn't sure about bringing it back, but I guess, you know, the format was right and the time was right. So here we are. Video Soul is back. You know, it's 80s, 90s all over again, I guess, in that way, maybe in a good way. So yeah. I'm surprised I did not mention this at all during the show, but the playlist for October, the Ever Since playlist has been updated for October. I think it's about 20 artists that are featured on this month's playlist. I try to keep it, like I said, I always try to keep it from between 20 and 30 artists, just so it won't be a huge list of people that, you know, get lost in the mix. But if you have a song, like say if you have a song, but you don't have a video, or you weren't planning to make a video, or if it was not in the budget, I understand that. You can definitely send it to me at afrosensei@gmail.com. Again, it's afrosensei@gmail.com. Send me the link, and I can check it out. And if I like it, it could be on November's playlist. I update the playlist every month. And for those who are on the playlist this month, please like it and share it, so that way the playlist can grow, and we have more of an audience for it. Again, but if you have a track that you want to send to me, that's afrosensei@gmail.com. Same with video too. If you have a video out, or you have an artist that you love and you think it'll be a great fit, as long as they're part of the Rainbow Mob, the LGBTQ community, send it to me at afrosensei@gmail.com. Again, it's afrosensei@gmail.com, and I'll check it out. It may be play on the next show, or if it's a song, it may be added to the next playlist. So, but speaking of that, getting back into our last artist of the night, this video, I think I came across again. I think it's another Q review discovery. This artist, this is I want to say his name is Chris, because it's not spelled with a C. It's spelled with a XHRIS. So maybe the X is silent. I don't know. But this is Chris Watson with Undiscovered. So let's get into this. This is Chris Watson with Undiscovered.
There's an undiscovered river flowing, and it's waiting to carry me away. And if I keep searching for this river, then maybe it'll float right your way. Than anything I've known. And if I swim down to the bottom, then the current will carry me home. Carry me home. I wanna go where you're going. Way of flowing, can we find a way to heaven? I wanna go wherever you go.
All right, that was the ex Chris with Undiscovered. That was the last video on that. definitely has a kind of like big pop sound vibe to it. This is a kind of simple concept as far as like the backgrounds and the colors and everything else, but it really fit the vibe of the song. Kind of unadorned sort of vibe to it. Yes, he definitely has star quality. But I said that wraps up our videos for tonight. If you know an artist that's doing great things, that's LGBTQ, has a great video, has great songs, please direct it my way. AfroSenseiShow@gmail.com. Again, that's AfroSenseiShow@gmail.com. Yes, oh yeah, definitely. Lenny Kravitz, Terrence Trent D'Arby, TTDL. I got that. Yeah, he does have that kind of vibe to it. But I keep coming back to a different word now because when you said Terrence Trent D'Arby, it made me think of someone brought his name up to Whitley when she was like, that braided mop. But yeah, he does have that kind of quality to it, that sort of wishing well, let love rule era kind of quality. Yeah, definitely. But maybe with like a softer kind of pop vibe, maybe like a less of a rock vibe than what Lenny would have. Speaking of which, I guess one last thing. I wonder what I do want. A lot of the verses have been, mostly rappers or R&B artists, but you haven't had like a Lenny Kravitz versus like a Living Color, or like a Bad Brains, Bad Brains versus like a Fishbone. It haven't really, the black rock artists have kind of been overlooked in a way, or even like the house divas, like you haven't had like a Crystal Waters versus a CeCe Peniston, because just a thought. I know they're supposed to be doing a KRS-One versus Big Daddy Kane, which makes sense. But somebody was posted, actually somebody posted Sade versus Anita Baker, which to me, oh, she did? Oh, that's good for you. Yeah, I didn't know that. My producer says that Crystal Waters bought a jacket of his. So yeah, Something. Yeah, all right, good, yeah. I can't say she bought anything of mine, but she did view one of my stories once. So but yeah, that was that's something I've noticed, that it does focus mostly on R&B and hip hop. But yeah, somebody had posted a photo like Anita Baker versus Sade, which I know they both have jazz tones, but I don't think that's not I don't know if it's really a match to me. I think Anita and maybe Anita and I would say Shaka, but I would think Shaka and Stephanie Mills because they know each other. Yeah, okay, Anita and Tony. But Tony, I would say with Tony so much, you could tell Tony was influenced by her so much. I think it would work better if like it was like Anita and like a peer of hers, like a Regina Belle or somebody. That's it. Maybe like Anita and like a Regina Belle, because like they're from the same era, and they came out around the same time, so that would be more of an equal match than her and Tony. Tony and Mariah would be a good one, and even though Mariah would have more hits, but I think they're in that same, it would just be a lot of like, boo, darling, that whole thing. You just dramaticking, all that stuff, for the nostalgia, all the Mariah-isms. That'd be a good, personality-wise, it would mesh really well. Yeah, Queens, yes. But yeah, it's something that I've noticed that the black rock artists and the black dance artists don't necessarily get the same versus love as the R&B hip hop artists. But maybe that'll be resolved, maybe it won't. But anywho, our next show will be our first Halloween show, because technically Halloween's on a Sunday, so we're gonna be here for that. But we will be here on the 22nd, which is actually also my album release day. So it's a bunch of things all together. Bad Brains and Fishbone. Oh, you did? Oh, Swiss is going for I think he is, definitely. Yeah, it's very, very much that. Very much the hip hop crowd. I think he is. I guess, as far as getting eyes on the verses, that makes sense. But, there's other artists out here too that, I guess won't be, a part of that stuff. So it's disappointing, but it's, in terms of like marketing it, I guess that's understandable. Oh yeah. Spooky Sensei show. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna be spooky. I'm trying to think about who I'm gonna be. I'm gonna dress up as. I don't want to give anything away, but hadn't totally so I don't want to look yet. But I'm gonna try something. It may either be an actual character or it may just be looking spooky. I don't know. We'll see. But the 22nd will be our first Halloween extravaganza. Probably the same background though, but because the blue seems to go with everything. But we'll have, of course, we have another round of artists. Try to get another interview. May actually, if I'm thinking about it, if he's available, I'm gonna see if I can get a co-host for the Halloween for our Halloween show. So that would be a different thing than it'd be a full-time guest. So yeah. Anyway, thank you as always for everybody that tuned in tonight. Thank you to Elvira. I don't have a wig though. I don't have an Elvira wig. I don't have I don't got a shag. Well, she has published a book actually. If everybody wants, and she's family. She came out. She came out being in a relationship with a woman for I think for the past 19 years actually. So welcome out. So that's some extra rainbow news if you didn't know about it. But yeah, I don't have an Elvira wig though. I don't have I ain't got the thing. I don't know if I could tease my dress up like that to do it. I don't know. Maybe. But yeah, if I could, what if I could? I don't know. But no, we'll see. I don't know. But Elvira could be one thing. But like I said, maybe possibly if we have like a guest for the whole show, maybe I'll reach out to him and see if he's willing. Again, that show will be October the 22nd, the same day as the release of BGC, the album. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Especially, I want to thank Mel Lennon for letting me talk to him and interview him. And he was a great interview. Thanks to all the artists who played their videos. Thanks to everybody that indulged me in the chat and went down my crazy rabbit holes. So until next time, just stay safe. Stay gay, stay bi, stay trans, stay straight. So stay ally, straight. Stay black if you're black. Everybody just stay good and stay themselves and stay empathetic and shit. So, but good night.
Tired of looking like SpongeBob SquarePants? Does lumpy and bumpy describe your hip pads? Are your hips serving Christmas dinner? Are you paying too much for crusty old couch cushions? DragOnABudget.com has the answer. Hashtag Body by Dementia. Body by Dementia. Body by Dementia. The #1 hip pads and stuffed bra seller on your neighbor's internet. Our hips come in 3 sizes. Small for a subtle look, medium for a more curvy option, and our custom size for those that need a more precise fit. Go to DragOnABudget.com and order yours today. DragOnABudget.com, the one-stop shop for all your drag needs. For queens, kings, and everyone in between. Since 1915. Shit, I mean 1925? 2015.
Body by Dementia, your pads look like trash.